Contrary, no. The ayes have it. This debate is therefore set down for resumption next sitting day. Honourable members, I call on Government Orders of the Day numbers 1 and 2.
National Animal Identification and Tracing Bill, Committee Stage. Road User Charges Bill, Committee Stage continued.
I declare the House in committee for consideration of the National Animal Identification and Tracing Bill and further consideration of the Road User Charges Bill. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker. I'll announce. Members, the House and Committee for consideration of the National Animal Identification and Tracing Bill and further consideration of the Road User Charges Bill.
Mr. Chairman.
The Honourable David Carter.
Mr. Chairman, I seek leave for all the provisions of the National Animal Identification and Tracing Bill to be taken as one question.
Is leave sought for that purpose? Is there any objection? There is no objection. Members, we now move first to the National Animal Identification and Tracing Bill. The question is that Part 1 stand part. The Honourable, just one moment. We have a
Parts 1 to 6, Schedules 1 to 2.
Just to clarify what the debate's about, as it's one question, I'm sure the honourable member knows that it's one debate. It's no, he didn't seek a wide-ranging debate. He just said that all parts be taken as one question. And no, you're testing me, Mr. O'Connor. So it's parts 1 to 6. Schedules 1 and 2 and clauses 1 and 2 stand part. The Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate the guidance there. Can I just start by going back, because we have started the new Parliament. This bill has been hanging around for some time, in fact since 2004, when the previous Labor government, in its wisdom, saw the need to introduce a tracing system that would actually not put us at the leading edge of national animal management, actually just bring us up to what has been occurring in a number of other countries for a number of years. And we do pride ourselves in being a nation of good managers of agriculture, of livestock, animal welfare issues, and of course in biosecurity. And unfortunately, at the time when Labor introduced this, there was quite a vicious campaign launched by Federated Farmers against this initiative. And I have to get that on record, because as a result of that, it is now 2012, some 8 years on, and we are now passing this bill through Parliament, and Labor supports the bill because we know it is necessary. We need to know where animals are, who they have been sold to, and what should occur in the terrible and unlikely event of an outbreak of foot and mouth, for example. We now know and trace our animals for tuberculosis. Many of the dairy animals are traced for breeding purposes, but we don't have one comprehensive scheme. And this bill will move us down that track for cattle and for deer. Just to reiterate, the countries that currently have such a scheme in place: Australia, United Kingdom, Canada, USA, South Korea, Japan, EU, Argentina and Brazil. We're right behind all our competitors. And in a world where consumers are demanding to know where their food comes from, how it was produced, and want an assurance that it can be traced in the event of some contamination or in the event of some outbreak of disease, we're not there yet. So the sooner we pass this through the House, the better. The national government sat around on its hands, I'd suggest. The Select Committee did deal with this bill as quickly as we could. but it has been sitting around, and it's important that we move on. The Select Committee dealt with a number of issues in consideration, and I'm sure the Chairman will speak at some stage. There were issues because of that 8-year period. Technology moves on very, very quickly. And what was, in my view, a political stance by Federated Farmers to object to animal tracing in 2004 did eventuate on the basis that technology was unsure and all the rest of it. Look, that was just an excuse at that point. There were, however, legitimate questions around the technology that should be used moving forward to make sure that we didn't impose a system on farmers, on processors and sale yards, and then realise that 2 or 3 years down the track the technology was obsolete. Mr. Chairman, I think the Select Committee did its very best in this area. The issue comes down one of low frequency versus high frequency. Both frequencies are used on the farm, less so in processing factories, but we've supported, and Labor supports a bill that opens the door for both technologies, but we hope that there'll be clear alignment of them as this moves forward, because the sooner we can tell where all the beef cattle are, the dairy cattle are, and the deer in this country, then we will be better off and more secure in terms of potential biosecurity threats. Mr. Chairman, I go back to the bill, and I'm sure the Minister will get up and answer a few queries on technical points. One of the questions that we have to ask of the new organisation is their ability to communicate with and connect to lifestyle farmers. As I say, farmers reluctantly have taken this on board, but I think now appreciate the benefit of this. Lifestyle farmers, people with few animals, may not understand the threat that they, if they stay outside the system, may pose to our whole production systems in agriculture. And I implore the officials to take on board some guidance about how to get out there, how to do some PR. We're told that there'll be a whole lot of brochures and a whole lot of marketing. We just have to make sure that marketing is well targeted, that it, Mr. Chairman,
The Honourable Damon O'Connor.
that it is effective in getting out to those lifestyle farmers. Can I say, given that we do have a broad-ranging debate, there has been asset sales here as well, Mr. Chairman, and I know that the Minister smirks there. In fact, the government, in its enthusiasm for asset sales, actually sold off last year a company that is likely to benefit, and good luck to them, from the implementation of 8. And Surtec, from NATE. Surtec was a subsidiary of the Crown Research Institution, Landcare Research, and was sold to a Canadian company. And actually they have developed technology that will be of huge benefit to the system when implemented in this country. And all I say on that, Mr. Chairman, because I know you're allowing a wide-ranging debate, is that, if we continue to see this stupidity in asset sales, then once again we will miss out potential benefits moving into the future. Back to Nate, Mr. Chairman. Can I just say that the question of sheep is one that I think should be raised, and the sheep farmers out there will be panicking, thinking, oh, not us. Why should we be involved? In 2004, I'm not quite sure what a ewe was worth. That's a female sheep, not yourself, Mr. Chairman, because we're not allowed to say that, of course. A ewe was probably worth $30 to $40, maybe. Now they're looking at, $150 to $200 for a good ewe. And I think that sheep farmers might understand now the potential benefits of having their animals included in a traceability scheme, so that if we do have an outbreak, we can move quickly, protect our export industry, and know where each and every one of the sheep are. At the moment, it's outside. The Minister may want to get up and explain whether he intends to move in that direction, including sheep. At the moment, it's cattle and deer, and I think that is a positive step forward. So I'm not going to say anything more, Mr. Chairman, other than Labor supports this bill. It has been a long time in coming, and this will be a very important step forward for the credibility, for the integrity and for the value of the New Zealand agricultural production systems.
I call Shane Ardern.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Can I take this